Good evening, everyone. The state of Maine is in a state of shock and fear tonight. Streets are virtually empty as residents shelter in place 24 hours after authorities say a U.S. Army reservist walked into a bowling alley and then in a bar just over my shoulder and shot and killed 18 people, wounding 13 more. Tonight, a massive search is underway for 40-year-old Robert Card. Police say he is armed and dangerous and should not be approached. And authorities say Card spent 2 weeks in a mental health facility this past summer after acting erratically. Tonight, miles of businesses and homes in and around Lewiston, Maine's second largest city, are on lockdown, including a nearby college and grade schools, as hundreds of law enforcement officers search for the suspect. It is this year's deadliest mass shooting, and it has jolted the country once again. Tonight, a mass killer is on the loose, and a large swath of Maine is on lockdown. Hundreds of law enforcement officers urgently searching for the armed and dangerous man they say carried out a shooting rampage at a bowling alley and a bar in Lewiston, killing at least 18 and injuring at least 13.
There is a full court press by all of our partners to bring him into custody.
Businesses and schools up to 50 miles away are closed.
Police advise that Maine people should not approach him under any circumstances.
Officials say the suspect is 40-year-old Robert Card from Bowdoin, a longtime member of the Army Reserve. A family member says he struggled recently with mental health issues. Law enforcement sources tell NBC News a note was found at Card's home. They are working to determine its meaning. Police say they also located a white Subaru registered to Card at a nearby boat landing.
I want to know who, where, when, why. Why would he do this? Why in Lewiston, Maine?
Today, body bags were removed from just-in-time recreation, where the rampage began.
Active shooter incident for all available units to Lewiston.
Officials say the first 911 call came in at 6:56 p.m. Wednesday night, reporting a shooter at the bowling alley, which was hosting a youth night.
He was probably 15 feet behind me. I mean, he was close. Very close.
People inside hid under tables and behind bowling pins.
I just booked it down the lane, and I slid basically into where the pins are and climbed up in the machine and was on top of the machines for about 10 minutes until the cops got there.
Police say 7 were killed there.
2 active shooter locations. The second will be at Schemengees.
Just 12 minutes later, more calls flooded into 911. The shooter had opened fire again, this time 4 miles away at Schemengees Bar and Grill, where police say he killed 8. Officials say multiple law enforcement agencies were dispatched to the scenes. It's unclear what time they arrived. Among the dead at the bowling alley, Bill Young and his 14-year-old son Aaron, and Tricia Aslin, who worked there and was bowling with her sister when shots rang out. Her mom says she was killed while calling 911. Her sister survived.
The world lost a great girl, and I lost a precious daughter.
Leroy Walker's son, Joey, was a manager at Schemengees. He says the suspect had been there before.
All of the people over there, they know it.
So he would come to Schemengees?
He would actually come to Schemengees. He'd been there off and on.
Leroy says he waited 14 hours to hear whether Joey was among the dead. You're all going through a lot of pain right now.
It's awful. That moment when I got the call that said, Joey's dead. It brought me back. It brought me right back to my knees.
He says Joey was a married father of 2 who loved running cornhole tournaments at the bar.
As manager of that club, he loved that club enough and the people enough that he would give his life, and that's what he did.
A state trooper told the family Joey died a hero.
Because he picked up a butcher knife and he tried to go at the gunman to stop him from shooting anybody else.
Does that change your pain at all?
Oh.
Knowing that?
It made it worse. Yeah, it made it worse.
Tonight, President Biden ordering flags across the country to be flown at half-staff to honor Joey and the 17 others who lost their lives.
My boy, Joey, will be missed by thousands.
You were close.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.